Hello. Okay, so I'm Laura Lewis and welcome to the class on transportation of substances through a plant. Okay, so we're going to look at 6-mark questions, so longer response questions to do with transportation of substances like water and other materials through a plant. So let's look at some questions. So we'll just dive straight in. Okay, so in this question, you'll be assessed on using good English. So in the 6-mark question, you'll always be asked about this. So you're assessed on good English as well as key scientific terms. So you need to write to make sense really. So you just put words, make score 1 or 2 marks. You need to write in sentences, okay? Because some answers only need a word, don't they? For only 1 or 2 marks or a few words. But this is a longer response answer. So in this question, you will be assessed on using good English, organising information clearly, and using specialist terms where appropriate. So plants transport many substances between their leaves and roots, more than just water. So figure 3 shows the direction of movement of substances through a plant. Okay, so we've got a bit of a diagram. We've got the phloem and the xylem, cross-section through stem, just in black and white. So describe how ions, water, and sugar, so we need to have all 3, are obtained and transported through plants. In your answer, you should refer to materials moving upwards in a plant and to materials moving downwards in a plant. Okay, so ions, water, and sugar. So let's start with ions. Okay, so ions, are taken up by diffusion, or active transport. They can be taken up by both. Okay, so these are taken up by the roots. So ions are taken up by the roots, okay, and travel in the xylem. Okay, so let's talk about these 2 words. So diffusion, active transport. So diffusion, this is asked a lot in the science papers. It could be biology or chemistry. Okay, I've seen it many times. So this just define diffusion is where substances, not just ions, substances are transported. That was right, transported from an area of high concentration to low concentration. It doesn't require energy. It does not require energy from the plant. It does not require energy from the plant. Active transport is different. So active transport goes the other way around. Transport. So a substance is transported from an area of low concentration to high concentration. Okay. This requires energy from the plant. So the cells that do this have lots of mitochondria in them. So this requires energy from the plant. So cells that do this have many mitochondria, so like the root hair cells, e.g. the root hair cells. I've got an extra R in that. Okay, the root hair cells. Okay. Hair cells. So we talked about ions, water. This is obviously we know about this. So taken up by the roots via osmosis. Osmosis is the special word when water moves. Okay, so when water moves an area of low water concentration, so it's about water, to high concentration. Okay, it travels in the xylem as well. Okay. Then this is transported to the leaves and stem. Water is also evaporated from leaves via transpiration. Okay. And sugar, one is a little bit different. So sugar made in the leaves and other green parts. So a little bit in the stem as well. By photosynthesis, glucose is made. Okay. Travels in the phloem, find out to the phloem. To other parts of the plant. For storage or other organs. Yeah, it's funny to call plant organs, but they are. Okay. So what will be asked? So other organs. So it can travel up or down. Okay, so it's whether it's needed in the plant, really, isn't it? So let's read through that. Ion. So about ions, water and sugar are obtained and transported through plants. In your answer, you should refer to materials moving upwards in a plant and downwards in a plant. Okay, right. So ions are taken up by diffusion or active transport. Ions are taken up by the roots and travel in the xylem. So diffusion, we're explaining what diffusion and things are and help you out a bit. Diffusion is where substances are transported from an area of high concentration to low concentration. So when you think about diffusion, it's kind of a straightforward one. It's where, say, example, you sprayed some perfume in the corner of a room and it spreads out to the rest of the room, that type of thing. It happens in the plants and our bodies all the time. It does not require energy from the plant, so it just happens. So active transport is a bit different. Substances transported from an area of low concentration to high concentration. This requires energy from the plant. So cells that do have this, or cells that do this, have many mitochondria in them, so like the root hair cells. So water taken up by the roots via osmosis. When water moves from an area of low water concentration to high water concentration, water travels in the xylem. This is transported to the leaves and stem. Water is evaporated from leaves via transpiration. Okay, sugar made in the leaves and other green parts by photosynthesis. Travels in the phloem to other parts of the plant for storage or other organs. This can travel up or down. Okay, right, so let's have another question, I think. So in this question, again, so it's a 6 mark, you will be assessed on using good English, organising information clearly, and using specialist terms where appropriate. So diagram 2 shows a section for a plant leaf. Describe the structure of the leaf and the functions of the tissues in the leaf. You should use the names of the tissues in your answer. Okay, so each part of the leaf has different functions, isn't it? So let's have a look. So we've got the topmost bit, will be the waxy cuticle, topmost bit. And what does that do? So the waxy cuticle is right at the top. So we've got reduces water loss. So this is especially noticeable when you get a plant like a cactus. Okay, when it lives in the desert and it has to stop water loss as it's very waxy outside. Okay. Then we're going working our way down. Okay, you've got the epidermis. Okay, epidermis. So this is doesn't have, so basically just it's a bit like our skin, so it covers the plant. It is transparent to allow light to pass through. There are no chloroplasts in this layer. Okay, no chloroplasts in this layer. Okay, so a little bit from the same level with stomata and the guard cells. So these allow carbon dioxide in or out, and also oxygen. The carbon dioxide and oxygen in and out. Then another way it is, so the stomata also control water loss in a plant by transpiration. Okay. So now we get down to this layer. So you got the palisade cells. We've got a bit more we get more photosynthesis going here. We palisade cells, which ones? This one's important, but it kind of is all important. Okay, sometimes it's known as the mesophyll. That means middle, meso. Palisade mesophyll. Middle leaf, that means. So this is loads, so many chloroplasts. Okay, to trap light and for photosynthesis, obviously. Okay, so near, well, it's at the middle, but they're near the top of the leaf because the other bit's very thin, to be honest. Top of the leaf, okay, for more light. Because at the bottom, they wouldn't be that good, would they? Or like, they wouldn't be that effective. And you've got the spongy mesophyll. Okay, so remember looking at the plant tissue, not the plant cells. Okay, so this bit, the spongy mesophyll, it's kind of got air in it, so it's spongy. So this contains airspace for the rapid movement of gases. So, wax cuticle reduces water loss. Epidermis covers the plant. It is transparent to allow light to pass through. There are no chloroplasts in this layer. Okay. Stomata of the guard cells allow carbon dioxide and oxygen in or out. The stomata also control water loss in a plant via transpiration. Palisade cells and mesophyll. Many chloroplasts to trap light for photosynthesis, and photosynthesis, near the top of the leaf to receive more light. The spongy mesophyll contains airspace for the rapid movement of gases. Okay, so let's have one more question. We'll talk about the importance of diffusion. I included another one. In this question, you'll be assessed using good English, organising information clearly, and using specialist terms where appropriate. So diffusion is an important process in animals and plants, like I said, both in our bodies and plants. The movement of many substances into and out of cells occurs by diffusion. It's a very common process. Described by diffusion is important to animals and plants. In your answer, you should refer to animals, plants, and examples of diffusion of named substances. Let's put underneath it. So animals and plants and named substances. Okay, so why do we need diffusion? Okay, so diffusion occurs. Well, diffusion is important, okay, to allow cells take in substances. Okay. Take in some also to get rid of them as well that they need, and get rid of substances that are waste. Okay, so examples. It's quite an easy question really, because once you know it, it's quite easy. So gas exchange in the lungs, that's humans or animals. Gas exchange in the lungs. Okay, so oxygen in and carbon dioxide out. So animals, I'll put there just to be extra clear. Okay. Oh, other digestion as well. Okay, so substances like glucose, so substances such as glucose okay, and amino acids absorbed. Water absorption in the large intestine, that's animals. Intestine. Okay. Animal. And get to plants. We just talked about, so it's fresh in our memory. So water loss from leaves, transpiration. So plants. Water absorption by the roots. And we had plants again. Mineral ions absorbed by the roots. So that was pretty comprehensive for 6 marks. So just the spacing there. Diffusion is important to allow cells to take in substances they need and to get rid of substances that are waste. So examples: gas exchange in lungs, animals, oxygen in and carbon dioxide out. Okay. Digestion, animals, substances such as glucose and amino acids absorbed. Water absorption in large intestine, animals. Plants, water loss from leaves, it's also called transpiration. Plants, water absorbed by the roots, and plants, mineral ions absorbed by the roots. Okay, that's enough to get 6 marks. Quite a straightforward question. Okay, so hope you learned something about answering 6 mark questions. It's free today. Thank you for joining the class. I'm Laura Lewis, and hope to see you in a future video. Thank you and goodbye.